What's going on, everybody? Today we're doing some finishing details. We'll hopefully have this one completely done and this one ready to finish the assembly. I am not trying to put off part 2 on this one, but as I've mentioned, I don't want to put this one together, test, and then go back and have to finish different things. We want this to be kind of a final assembly situation, and so we do have a couple things we need to do. Now this is mainly about finishing this one over here, but there's a couple things that we're doing on this one that we also need to do here, including, now both of these don't have a DVD drive, but we are still going to use the DVD drive bezels. So we're just using a gloss black one over on this one, and then we're still going to use the R2D2 one from this one, and that's because with the ghost shell you'll still be able to read the message up here, and it's just blue, kind of matches the USB door and other blue accents. Also, we have the fan cable made for this one with the two 3-pin connectors for the pump and the external, well, internal fan, but that needs to be plugged in when we put that on top. We also need a DVD drive cable. We're going to splice in to 5 volts and 12 volts, and then we actually need to do the same thing to this one, which we already did, but we only left the 12 volt cables, but instead we're going to also do 12 and 5 from the DVD cable. Actually, on this one, just 5 for these fans here. I'm so used to hooking things up that I want 5 volts to the factory fan plug-in on the FAT360, which is 5 volts, but obviously on this one, without the extra sensor cables, it's just going to be straight 12 volts. So we're going to put this to the DVD drive cable, and then this fan and the cathodes are connected to the DVD cable, but we're actually going to switch those. We're going to put that to the fan cable, just like we did here, instead of cathodes pump. And yeah, so we need to make 2 DVD drive cables, where we basically remove all the cables except on this one, the 2 pink ones, 12 volts and ground, and then one of the middle ones, I'll have to double check, is 5 volts, and on the other side, ground for that. So we'll make 2 of those, and then the plan for mounting these DVD drive bezels in here, a little bit easier on the FAT. There's not as much of a gap around the bezel, so you could probably get away with just gluing it on there. But on these, you can see there's a pretty good gap all the way around. And so I think what I want to do is just cut out little pieces of plexiglass that fit this shape. So it's basically going to be a backing right here, and then we'll mount this to that. So this will be centered, and then all the way around it will still be see-through with plexiglass. So this is going to be flat. There we go. This will be a flat piece across the back of this, and both of these will be attached around there, and hopefully get it nice and centered for this one and this one. So we'll cut those out, and DVD drive cables. And then the final thing, this was the piece we were going to use on Kylo right here. I decided against that. I wasn't a fan. We cut out a smaller one, and part of that is I actually really like how these fans look without being blocked with the UV LEDs glowing through them. But still obviously want to cover this colorful situation up in the corner. So we've got this piece here that we cut and then painted really heavy in the anodized red. And you can see on the different levels there, it's like different shades of red, sort of. The corner got a little messed up, but... And then we just put some lettering there, Kylo, so that's basically going to go just like that underneath. And then this black one we're going to use, which fits perfectly for this one. Let's start with the most boring stuff. DVD drive cables. We got this one here for R2D2, so the center ones there, obviously not including the blank one. The center, positive and ground, 5 volts, and the one all the way in the end, positive and ground, 12 volts. And then for Kylo, we just need 5 volts. We're basically going to swap out the one that's already in there with this one, put those smaller fans here, and then, like I said, we have the smaller fans attached to the stock fan connector. We're actually going to put the cold cathodes in the original fan, or the bigger fan in the middle. onto the fan plug-in. So those are on 12 volts. Although on this bigger fan here, we also have that resistor on there to step it down from 12 to around 8. Got these spliced, and basically the 12 volt is going to connect here for the UV LEDs, and then the 5 volt will attach to these two fans that will attach over here. But for now, we're going to leave that one here for the next video on that one. For Kylo, let's go ahead and splice these. 12 volts connected here, two 5 volt vans connected here. Did I say vans? Whatever. Alright, let's put this stuff back in, get it back to where we had it before. We're back to where we were before. Now, let's go ahead, remove this for the last time. This set on top, we could put the long screws in from the bottom, and then we have to deal with our face plates that I mentioned earlier. Alright, we got these little pieces cut out. We're going to go ahead and sand them so they're not totally clear, kind of be like an opaque. And then we'll attach these to this, and then attach these to here. And then we also had to throw those little braces on the back of the eject sensitive part, even though neither of these have a DVD drive, but it'll just keep the ribbon cable from peeling back. And I guess it'll still make the noise if you want to make the noise, especially on this one. It still has the R2-D2 noises. So got both of our pieces made, so it's got that backing to it. And then all we got to do is slide it in that slot, like that. And we'll just have to make sure it's centered up. There we are. Got the false doors on there. Alright, about to put the top and final piece on. But I forgot to trim just the tiniest bit off this plastic piece. Oh, I hope this fits. Oh, the controller's not connected. Alright, here we are with the overhead lights off completely. Yeah, that's super cool. Alright, well, let me know what you guys think. Got all the pink. I think I did pretty good at making the pink shell look more red, especially with all the lights there. Kylo. Alright, that's pretty much it. And then we've got our SSD, 500 gigabyte controller here for it. And I'm super excited to get R2-D2 in the same position and put it right next to it. That's it. If you guys want to see that, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.